Hi, I'm Nick. This is the TbT channel. This is part 2 of the Webley Vulcan and possibly other models as well, strip down, tune and rebuild videos. This is the tuning part 2, what to do while you're inside the rifle. For this one I am also going to incorporate the kit that I'm going to be doing for this rifle, because I have a feeling I know what's going to work. So we're going to do some measurements and we're going to check. So the gun is apart, completely apart in front of us. The first thing we need to do is degrease everything. Now I use brake and carburetor cleaner, aerosol, because it's very effective, very good and very nearly out. Top tip, well, reminder to self, buy more of that this afternoon. So we're going to degrease the piston. I'm also going to degrease the compression tube, but you will remember from the first video I've actually got my punch through the sear on the trigger thing so that all the tiny little springs and components don't go flying everywhere and I end up with a gun that I can't use. So I'm not going to be doing that on air because I need to concentrate and be careful and not knock that out. Also at the same time you want to check the inside of the cocking slot here and deburr it, but this needs degreasing because what do we know? Every time the piston comes out of the gun we have to degrease the compression tube, otherwise all the grease that's on the sides will get pushed down to the bottom and diesel away like Billy-O. So let's assume I have degreased that. I will do it off camera. The next thing I'm going to do is polish the piston, but I will do that again off camera because I'm going to do that on the lathe. And although the spring that came out of here is straight and it looks strong, I know the gun wasn't firing as strong as the gentleman who owns this gun wanted it to. So he asked me to put one of our kits in here. So I'm going to show you how we measure for one of our kits, so that if you have a gun or a Webley, especially a Webley, in fact if you have a Webley that isn't a Vulcan, compare the measurements I do here to your gun and that will tell you if one of our kits will fit. First of all, I need the outside diameter of the piston, and this is 26.8 millimeters, so effectively 27, but 26.8 millimeters. The internal diameter of the piston, 21.5 millimeters. Your piston has to have a 21.5 millimeter internal diameter for our spring to fit. Please check, because Webleys have different size pistons. I've added this bit in because I have since discovered that some Vulcans have different size pistons. So please check yours before ordering. If you try to fit it, we can't take it back. We will send you free of charge any other bits necessary to convert it for a different rifle, but we can't take it back. So please check before buying. If it's a different size, see our video called "Do You Make a TbT Kit for ... That one will help. Email me and we'll sort you out. That means one of our springs will fit. The premium spring. The Magnum spring won't, the premium will, but that's good because that's the one we would want to use. Next we want the internal diameter, the internal depth of the piston, which is 113.16. So now what we are going to do is some maths. We've got 113.16, so we'll call that 113. We won't dilly-dally over a mere 0.16 of a millimeter. Now I am ogling the horizon for a slip washer. A slip washer. And I've put in a slip washer there next to the top hat where it would live. I'm also getting a power washer. That's my margin for error, okay? Sliding that onto there, and now what I'm doing is measuring the thickness of the slip washer, the power washer and the shoulder of the top hat. and that is 11.5 millimeters. So we've got 113 minus 11.5. That's 101.5 millimeters. That is our spring room inside of the piston. So next we have to divide that by the diameter of the wire in our spring, which is 3.1 millimeter for the premium wire. So 101.5 divided by 3.1 equals, that means I can fit 32.7 coils inside of this gun. Okay, so if I put 32.5 effectively inside of this gun, it will cock, it will fire. If I put 33 coils inside of this gun, it will be coil bound, it won't cock. You'll pull the lever down, it won't go click, it won't catch, and you'll be scratching your head wondering why. That's how we work this out. 32.7 is the maximum, so I am going to use a 31 coil spring, and it's got a outside diameter of 27 millimeters, and we also have on this one a little nubbin. Now the nubbin measures 9.35 millimeters, which means when we get our rear guide, of which I have one here, it will sit on that nubbin with the flange over that, but of the correct size to match this, and that will give us all the support we need for the rifle to fire. It's going to isolate the spring from metal contact, making it quieter, reducing vibration, and with 31 coils I think that's going to give us a good power as well. So let's have a little think. We're going to have that, we're going to have the slip washer and top hat. So let us now check our internal depth to see what length of rear guide we require. So we put in our slip washer first, the right way up, slip washer, top hat, rear guide. Now you can see that one is just a little bit too long. The plastic is meeting before that's actually got itself together there. So change that for a slightly shorter one. I haven't been using anything else and it isn't greasy. All my spares are over there. A slightly shorter one, put that in there, and you can see that is sat flush on the back of the piston, so it will cock. That's it. I am now going to polish this piston up, degrease the inside of the compression tube. The inside of the piston has already been degreased. I'm going to degrease this part as well, and I'm going to clean up the barrel, which reminds me how we deal with rust on metalwork. Okay, I've got the barrel of this gun here. We've got surface rust all over it, all up and down it. Now a lot of people ask on the internet, and they contact me and ask how to remove that rust. Particularly bad, that part there. And this is it. It's quite simple, it's quite easy. I'll just get something to put underneath the barrel. What you need is oil. I've got some 3-in-1 in a can here, and you need some very fine wire wool. This is 000 wire wool. So you spray that onto the barrel, and you get your wire wool, and you just gently rub it. Now what that's going to do is remove all of the rust without removing the bluing or blacking, whichever you prefer. So there. There you go. Now that was just a quick rub. I'd give it a little bit more. So I'm going to give it a little bit more because I can. That part there. And we're just rubbing. Because it's a very, very fine wire wool, it's not going to be abrasive against the actual metalwork. It's only going to affect the surface rust. Now, it's not going to leave it looking like new, because it can't, because there was rust in those places. But what it will do is leave it looking smooth and shiny, and where previously there was rust, there is what we call patina or patina. It's not offensive, it doesn't look manky, it just looks like a gun from the 1980s. So that is how you remove surface rust from blued surfaces. That should be a good tip for anybody working on Webleys, because most of the good ones are getting on a bit in years now, and you'll probably find when you get one it will have that issue, and this just removes it and it feels lovely and smooth now. Thank you very much for watching this video. Part 3, fitting the kit, re-lubing and rebuilding, is coming up. Please like, subscribe, hit notifications, and you'll be told when it becomes available. I will speak to you all again soon. Thank you, goodbye.